Attention passionate Cleveland, BROWNS. Latest news, something big is happening in the AFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Cleveland Browns' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Cleveland Browns fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and Cleveland, BROWNS. Let's get to the news now, folks. I want you to settle in because what we're about to discuss could be one of the most intriguing and potentially game-changing stories for the Browns in recent memory. It's not just about the here and now, but about how the future might look if the right pieces fall into place. We've all seen the ups and downs of Cleveland's franchise, and right now, there's a buzz, a whisper that's gaining momentum around the NFL. Could we be on the verge of witnessing a coaching legend returning to the league, and potentially to Cleveland? It might sound like a long shot, but the rumors and reports are starting to suggest that there's genuine interest from a team that knows what it takes to win, and that team might just be the Browns. Let's take a quick trip down memory lane to understand how we got here. For many Browns fans, Bill Belichick's name is a bit of a mixed bag. His first stint as an NFL head coach was, let's say, controversial. I mean, it's impossible to forget the decision to cut Bernie Kosar mid-season back in 1993, a move that still stings for many who grew up watching the Browns in their heyday. Then, of course, there's the fact that his tenure with Cleveland ended with a disappointing 37-45 record, and the franchise's relocation to Baltimore didn't exactly help his reputation among our faithful. To make matters worse, he moved on to become the face of the Patriots and built one of the greatest dynasties in NFL history, leading to a record 6 Super Bowl titles. That added salt to the wound for many Browns fans, especially those who felt abandoned or betrayed at the time. Fast forward to today and the landscape has shifted. It's been nearly 30 years since Belichick's departure from Cleveland, and while some fans still harbor a grudge, the overall sentiment has mellowed. We're now in the era of Jimmy Haslam, and let's be honest, things haven't exactly been smooth sailing. The Browns have experienced their fair share of coaching changes, roster rebuilds, and quarterback questions. But what's interesting is that despite the rocky road, there's a growing sense that Cleveland might be a viable landing spot for a coach like Bill Belichick if the stars align. Why is that? Well, for starters, Belichick, now 73 years old, has not fully hung up his coaching cleats. He's currently leading the North Carolina Tar Heels, a college gig that many see as a stepping stone or a retirement stop, but his desire to return to the NFL is well known. Back in November, Belichick released a statement dismissing rumors that he was interested in replacing Brian Daboll as the Giants' head coach. But make no mistake, he's still very much involved in the football scene, and his name continues to surface in NFL circles. With 333 career wins, he's just 15 wins shy of surpassing Don Shula for the most wins in NFL history. For a football historian and coach like Belichick, that record is not just a number. It's a legacy he's determined to claim, and every game, every season is about adding to that legacy. Here's where things get really interesting for Browns fans. According to some league insiders, at least 2 NFL teams are exploring the possibility of bringing Belichick back into the fold in 2026, and one of those teams might be Cleveland. Now, I want to be clear, nothing is set in stone, and Cleveland still has to decide on Kevin Stefanski's future, which likely won't be sorted out until after the season wraps up. But what's noteworthy is that Cleveland has reportedly maintained a certain level of respect and even fondness for Belichick, especially after his unsuccessful pursuit of a head coaching job last year. A league source mentioned that upper-level personnel in Cleveland are still quite fond of Belichick, and there's been some recent exploratory interest, even if it's just on a preliminary level. Imagine that for a moment. Belichick returning to Cleveland, not just for a farewell tour, but to finish where he started with the Browns. It's a storyline that practically writes itself. He's familiar with the area, familiar with the franchise's history, and he'd be inheriting a roster that's arguably one of the most talented and promising in the NFL, especially on defense. We're talking about Myles Garrett, who's arguably chasing Lawrence Taylor as perhaps the most dominant defensive player of all time, Denzel Ward, and a young, talented squad that's eager to win now. Belichick's legendary ability to craft a top-tier defense would fit perfectly with this group, and let's not forget, he's got a knack for fixing issues on special teams, an area where Cleveland has struggled mightily over the years. But of course, it's not all sunshine and roses. If the Browns are seriously considering Belichick, they've got some significant hurdles to overcome. One of the biggest concerns is the offensive side of the ball, particularly at quarterback. Belichick's recent history with quarterbacks hasn't always been stellar. After Tom Brady left New England in 2020, Belichick's Patriots went through a revolving door of signal callers: Cam Newton, Brian Hoyer, Mac Jones, Bailey Zapp, with mixed results. His teams made only one playoff appearance in those 4 years, ending with a 29-38 record, and ultimately he was fired by owner Robert Kraft in 2023. That's a familiar feeling for Browns fans, watching a team struggle to find stability at quarterback, hoping the next guy is the answer, only to be disappointed once again. And that's the core of the dilemma. Cleveland's biggest decision, whether to stick with Stefanski or move on, hinges on much more than just wins and losses. It's about the future of the franchise, the development of young talent, and whether an experienced coach like Belichick can elevate the offense beyond the chaos. While Belichick would bring instant credibility and respect, especially on defense, his recent track record with quarterbacks raises some red flags. The Browns are in an interesting position. They're trying to transition away from Deshaun Watson's hefty contract, build around their young talent, and make the most of their draft capital. They have around 10 picks in the 2026 draft, and many see this as a pivotal year to set the course for the next decade. Now there's no denying that Belichick's resume commands respect. His success with the Patriots is unparalleled, and his ability to maximize talent and game plan is second to none. But as Browns fans, we know the NFL is a league of cycles. The league's landscape has changed, and coaching legacies are often judged by recent results. Still, the allure of Belichick returning to Cleveland, especially to chase that record-breaking number of wins and maybe, just maybe, bring a new level of discipline and strategic thinking to our roster, is a tantalizing prospect. If Cleveland does make a move for Belichick, it's likely to be after the season, once they've evaluated everything: the roster, the coaching staff, the future direction. It's a gamble, no doubt, but one that could pay huge dividends if it all falls into place. Imagine a coach who's seen it all, who's built dynasties, and who's hungry to add more wins to his legacy, leading a team that's already on the rise. It's a storyline that could define the Browns for years to come, a chapter of redemption, legacy, and a shot at that elusive Super Bowl title. So, Browns fans, buckle up and keep your eyes on this story. It's not just speculation anymore. It's about the potential of rewriting our future with a coaching legend, a man who's both admired and feared across the league. The possibility of Belichick returning to Cleveland is as exciting as it is controversial, but one thing is for sure: it would be a move that captures the imagination of every Browns supporter. It's a story that's still unfolding, and whatever happens, we'll be here to bring you all the latest updates, analysis, and opinions. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YouTube algorithm to keep recommending the latest Cleveland Browns news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. And now, Cleveland Browns fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Cleveland Browns. Do you think Belichick at this stage of his career could be the missing piece to finally push Cleveland over the top? Or do you believe it's too risky, considering his recent coaching history and the challenges at quarterback? Whatever you think, we want to hear it. This is what makes our Browns family so special: the passion, the debates, the hopes. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with even more updates, rumors, and deep dives into everything Browns. We're not just fans, we're part of a movement, a community that believes in this team's potential. Cleveland is on the rise, and with the right moves, maybe even a coaching legend like Belichick, we could be looking at a new chapter of glory. So stay tuned, stay passionate, and as always, go Browns.